All right, so we just got finished watching episode 4 of Hard Knocks.
Yep.
Sean, what did you think of this episode?
Tell you the truth, I didn't really like it that much. I thought this was probably the weakest
This was
episode
was definitely the weakest episode so far of this season. Okay, so early in the episode, it started off with the showing the rookie talent show.
And that was kind of weak.
It was pretty weak.
What talent? I didn't see any talent.
I know. I mean,
I saw skits.
Yeah, there were some impressions being done, whatever. One guy was doing the top 5 ugliest, and the number 1 was Baker, and that was that guy.
That was pretty funny.
That got a good little laugh. He was like, "Fuck you."
Everybody. He's flipping everybody up. That was funny, but everybody else was kind of weak.
And that was pretty weak, especially like in past seasons. They're a lot better than this.
Oh, hands down. And even I felt like last year's, even though it was shitty fucking Rams, it was still better than that.
Oh, it was a very good talent show. So, okay, so like they're practicing, right? And they had a pretty shitty fucking practice.
Everybody. And it wasn't just like any particular players. It was like literally the whole team. At first I thought it was just the offense, and then they started showing the defense, and they were playing like shit. It was just everybody was dragging ass. But a big reason why I think is the weather, man.
The weather, the heat, it's hot as hell out there in Tampa.
How do you not have a legit fucking indoor stadium out in any kind of like state that is as hot as Florida? Texas, Dallas Cowboys just built one. That's a big reason why Dallas was always in Oxnard, California, to avoid that kind of heat.
That's rough, man.
So like, why don't they have an indoor stadium or indoor field or something?
I don't know. That's a
I know
tough
it's
way
in
to
the
practice.
works. It's in the works of being built, but you'd imagine from a team like Tampa that's won a Super Bowl, has been successful before in the past.
Yeah.
Why don't they have it already?
That's just tough. I don't know how the hell they've been doing that for years. But anyway, so during that practice, Jerry McNichols. He was not doing good at all.
Yeah, they've been kind of criticizing him this whole, like, he's been one of the focal points, right? Consistently on every episode. And they say they like the guy, but he just doesn't have that next level talent. Mm-hmm. And they even made the comment, right, that he only has one speed. He doesn't really have, like, the next speed. When you get into the NFL, all these players are a lot faster.
Yeah.
Right? In college, you can be one speed and be great. But when you get into the NFL, everybody's got that next gear, and you got to find it, and he hasn't shown that yet.
Yeah, and another guy I want to talk about from that practice that was featured in this episode was Bubba Wilson.
Oh, God,
This guy
is a piece of shit.
Was an asshole. I mean, this dude was arrogant. Everything he did, he said that he did right.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I do it right when I go in there. I put in all the reps. Like, my God.
Yeah, and like, he was just talking a lot of shit. And
he even snapped back at the coaches. Like what did he say in the? Remember in the
coach was talking to him, and he was like, coach watches away. He goes, "I'm not trying to hear that shit."
Yeah, he was like, I don't listen to that shit. I don't let it bother me.
He's comparing his college days.
What are you talking about? Listen to that shit. You got these are NFL fucking coaches. You're not gonna listen to what they have to say, even if it's criticism. You gotta take criticism as a good thing. Mm-hmm. You know. If they didn't give a fuck about you making the team, they wouldn't say shit to you, and they'd let you go after the fucking training camp.
Yeah, and then another person who got featured in this episode, another wide receiver, was Dante Dye.
Yes,
I mean, comparing Bubba Wilson to Dante Dye, this guy, he puts in work. He puts in a lot of work. Mike Evans even, when they were interviewing him, he said, he really appreciates the hard work that this guy puts in. Yeah. He's got great hands.
Oh, man.
And
this
dude
dude only
looks
like
good.
5'10".
Yeah.
They said, but this guy, he puts in the work. Mm-hmm. And apparently they said he's been off and on the team for the last 3 years, I think they said, 3 seasons. So he's really been he puts in work. He doesn't just get discouraged, even if he doesn't make the team. Or even if he does, he's putting in the work, and that's all you got to do.
Yeah. See, somebody else that got featured in this episode was Chris Godwin.
Yeah, and it was weird to me because they made a comment, right? They're like, the HBO narrator guy, I'm not sure who his name is, but he said, "Oh, this guy's been the buzz around camp." Then why the fuck are we just hearing about him now?
Oh, being featured in the episode?
Yeah, featured in episode 4, but yet he's been in the buzz of camp. Mm-hmm. Why? Where did that come from?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what got me puzzled, as well as like why hasn't O.J. Howard been more featured?
Yeah,
or
that's another guy.
Yeah,
I don't understand it. And O.J. Howard was featured a little bit for like a split second. Mm-hmm. They showed him running a couple routes, Jameis talking him up, and then him, making a play after Jameis coached him up, and so, but that was it. You know, and I'm confused. Like, and Godwin, he's a third-round pick of theirs out of Penn State. O.J. Howard is their first-round pick out of Alabama. But yet, they're not even featuring these guys at all.
Yeah, I wanted to get to know him a little bit more, especially O.J. Howard.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks. But, yeah, Godwin looked good. He looked really good.
Oh, yeah, he looked good. I'm glad they finally started showing him because, yeah, this kid looks good, man. He's running routes. He's making catches. I like him.
Let's see. Somebody else talking about, let's see, Dirk Cutter. He was, he got into Jameis's ass, man.
Again.
During practice, like, because they were talking about, like, you know, know when to joke around and know when to be serious.
Yeah.
And Dirk, that was pretty cool. Dirk Cutter just went up to him. He was like, you're a sarcastic son of a bitch.
You're being a smartass. No, he's a smartass.
Oh, yeah, you're being a smartass.
And he's like, no, wait a minute. He's like, you need to learn when not to be a smartass.
I like Dirk Cutter, man. I really do, man. This dude's he's a badass, man. He calls him out. He'll call out his quarterback. He
doesn't care who it is. Jameis Winston is the face of the franchise. Yeah. He is. And he's a great young talent. But he doesn't care. He doesn't give a shit how big of a fucking player you are. He doesn't care if you're the face of the franchise. He'll call you out on national television, which he just did.
Let's see. They're also being featured in this episode was, the two linebackers trying to make this team.
Yes.
Riley Bullock and Cameron Lynch.
Yes. Cameron Lynch and him both. Cameron Lynch, I think, will probably make the team over Riley Bullock. I hate to say it. I know Bullock.
And why is that? Because the coaches were saying what about Riley Bullock?
He has no movement. Like he's a smart guy. He's a great leader. But this is the first time they actually shown him where this guy he can't move. He can't cover. He can't hang with these athletic guys that can make plays. And so I really liked him, Riley Bullock. And he was featured a lot throughout camp. Yep. And it looks like he's probably not gonna make the team.
No, I mean, okay, so getting into the preseason game that they had against the Cleveland Browns, Riley Bullock, he really messed up. He got a huge penalty there towards the end of the game. Yeah. And that ended up causing, which led to a touchdown by the Cleveland Browns.
And he had a play where he could have covered, I think it was too, and he missed the coverage. Yeah. He was right there, but he's just not athletic enough to be able to cover these tight ends or receivers in pass coverage.
I thought it was pretty interesting also they mentioned how his dad sold the company or whatever.
Oh,
$30 million.
Apparently they got money.
Yeah, his family has a ton of money. Yeah. He also comes from a lot of NFL players in his family and coach.
I think his older brother plays for Houston right now. So that's interesting.
Dude's he even got a new nickname, Bully.
Bully, finally. It's better than Joe Dirt.
Really interesting guy, but like the coaches were saying, I mean, this guy, he can't make plays. You can't make plays.
When you get to the NFL level, you can't just it's not just knowledge. You got to put it all together, right? You got to put the knowledge factor and the playmaking ability on the field.
Let's see. In that preseason game, Jameis Winston, he threw an interception to Jabril Peppers, the rookie.
God. See, this is the problem. We both love the Bucs, and we're high on them, especially their offense. But that's the biggest thing is they're just so young. And Jameis Winston, he overthrew him by like 10 yards. Mm-hmm. And it was sad, man. It was sad against the Cleveland Browns, against a rookie fucking safety.
Yeah, and on the other side, DeShone Kizer, he threw a pick to Hargraves.
Yeah, it was batted up by David, I think it was. Mm-hmm. Or is it Alexander?
I don't remember.
Linebacker tipped
Hargraves it up. Got himself an interception on Kizer, and who was kind of like, kind of doing the same things that Jameis was, like taking too much of a risk.
Oh, yeah.
And Jameis was kind of telling them that after the game.
Yeah. He said, check it down. The funny thing is I hear Winston saying it, right? And this is the thing. He's been saying it from all camp, right? He even went up to Dirk Cutter and said, I got to cut down on taking chances.
But you got to do it.
But you got to do it. Exactly. Like, you can't just say it. You got to do it. And that's my biggest flaw right now. James is still young. He's still very young, so he's got a lot to learn.
Mike Evans didn't play in that game. He had a hurt.
Undisclosed. Yeah. They will not announce it pretty much through training camp. They won't give you any kind of details because they don't have to.
But he should be good for week 1.
Yeah, they said it's precautionary. They just held him
out. In that preseason game, Jeremy McNichols, coming back to him, he did not look good at all. I mean, of course, it was raining, the weather was going on, but he wasn't looking good in training camp. He was looking good here. Man. Yeah, and they pulled it. He missed he missed the play.
Oh, he missed the block.
Yeah, he missed the block. They pulled his ass out. They get him the fuck out of the game.
Yeah, and they said this is what we talked about.
Yeah.
Look at this side first, and he didn't. When it's your very first assignment, why aren't you looking at it?
And let's see. Also talking about a guy who with a big fucking mouth. Not that Jeremy Nichols has a big mouth, but I want to talk about Bobo Wilson again. Oh. That dude during the preseason game didn't do shit really. No, he had a slight block.
And it wasn't even a block. The guy overran him, and he kind of just barely touched him, and the running back just cut in. And he's like, "Oh, that was my block, man."
I really hate this guy. I hate this dude.
He's a piece of shit.
He's an asshole. Yeah. This dude, he seems like a spoiled little brat. Get him the fuck out of there.
And remember in the coach's room, they're watching film. The coach asked him a question, and the coach was like, "Hey, man, watch the whole play before you answer." And then he watched the whole play and said it, and he was like, "Yeah, coach, I know my shit." And the coach was like, "You answered twice before you gave me the right answer. No, you don't know your shit." And he's still arguing, man. This guy's got, it feels like, and then he started bitching about college and this, we talked about, he mentioned his college days. Mm-hmm. Why are you bringing up your college days, man? This is the NFL. This is totally different. Oh, well, this is how we do it in Florida State. We grinded. No, this is the NFL.
Hey, shut the fuck up.
What you did in college don't mean shit anymore. And I feel like everything was just handed to him. He used to just being the guy, right? He was like the hot shot, he could do what the fuck he wants.
Get this asshole out of here. Cut his ass.
He's gonna be cut.
Don't even show him. Next time I want to see him on Hard Knocks, his ass
getting
Dirk
cut. His office?
Yeah.
I hope so.
Getting his ass cut. So. But positive note though, Dante Dye. He looked great in that preseason game.
And I was wondering why they never showed him before, but he's been hurt.
Woo!
Apparently.
Yeah, he was hurt for a couple of weeks. This dude looked great in the preseason game against the Cleveland Browns, and he even almost had a touchdown. That was a great catch. They rolled it incomplete.
I didn't see the feet because they didn't really show the slow motion replay, but
it was still
close.
He still, that was very impressive.
It shows his hands.
So I kind of hope this guy makes a team, man. I really like this guy.
I do too. That's my favorite player. That's the MVP of this episode, I think. What do you think?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Dante Dye.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jeremy McNichols. Let's see what he could do, because next week, man.
I think if anything, he's gonna make special teams. That's it.
Next week's season, because he did
make a tackle on special teams.
on special teams. And next week is season finale. That's when the cuts are coming. It's gonna be a huge episode next week. Another takeaway from this episode was the Tampa Bay Bucs' new locker room.
Oh,
and
finally
they finally got a new locker room.
Yep.
It looks like a professional, an NFL professional locker room, and they even have hot running showers.
Wow.
Whoa.
Oh, they're moving up in the world. And what did they say too? Gerald McCoy says, 8 years of that high school locker room, right? I'm like, damn. I didn't know. First off, he's been in the league for 8 years. First, and second, is that their locker room was that shitty?
I guess so.
How are you an NFL team and have a shitty ass locker room like that?
Oh man, but they're upgrading. They're upgrading everything.
I guess, but they should have already been.
They're upgrading their roster. They're upgrading their facilities. Their Tampa Bay Bucs are, they're coming up. They're coming up all the way around. They're coming up. Yeah. And but yeah, so definitely I would say this episode 4 of the season was the weakest so far.
Yeah, it could have been better.
And I'm looking forward to next week. Next week's the season finale.
I want to see who makes the team.
All the cuts are going to be made again. I want to see Bobo Wilson get his ass fucking cut.
I want to see what he says to the coaches when he gets cut.
Smart ass motherfucker. I hope he's watching this. Bobo Wilson, if you're watching this, dude, grow up, man.
Yeah, dude. I want to see if he talks back to the coaches when he gets cut.
Oh, I bet he will. Why you cutting me, huh? Why you cutting me? I did everything right. And Dirk Carter's like, fuck you.
No, you didn't. You got to clean up your shit, man.
If you did everything right, I wouldn't cut you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to go back to Penn State.
No, he's from Florida State.
Oh, whatever the fuck he's from.
Godwin's from Penn State. This Bobo Wilson's from Florida State with Jameis. He was his receiver over there.
Fuck out of here, Bobo Wilson. But anyway, that's our thoughts on episode 4 of training camp with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yep.
Guys, let us know what you thought of episode 4. And
comments.
Hey, we can't wait till next week. Next week, season finale. Cuts being made. It's going to be huge. And we can't wait till then. And until then,
see y'all next time.
See you guys next week.
Later.